Hey guys, and welcome to Petrol, and welcome to my CarVid19 Daily vlog, uploading a new video every day at 6 PM to keep you sane during lockdown. Today, we're doing something to Charlie Clubman that I could never have done if I'd have bought a GP3. Now I promise this will be the last of the videos I do where I mention a GP3, unless the video actually features me driving a GP3, which let's hope that happens once lockdown finishes. But I'm sure many of you that follow me for a while knew I had one on order. I had a Clubman JCW long-termer from Mini UK, and that made me change my thinking of what my daily driver needed to be. This car, very similar performance to a GP3, same engine, same gearbox. The bonus this car has is it has four-wheel drive, whereas the GP3 was a little bit lighter. But for me, the deciding factor, well actually there were lots of deciding factors, but one of the key deciding factors to go for a Clubman was practicality. 4 seats, a boot, and most importantly, these things. These things are one of the key reasons why I went for a Clubman and not a GP3. And then if you've got these things, roof rails, what you need is what's in this box. So in this box are my roof bars. So what we're going to do in this video is fit these roof bars, and then I'm going to show you the ultimate reason why the Clubman JCW is for me, because you could never do this to a GP3. Simple reason is they don't put roof bars and roof rails on a GP3. So, how hard can it be? Let's get the box open first, I guess. Now I have roof rails and roof bars for the S4, and although I can fit my bike in the S4, if you're going on a long journey and you've got lots of luggage, you really want the bike on the outside of the car. I've got a tow bar mounted bike rack that I used to use when we had a Range Rover, but there's no tow bar on the back of the S4 and there's no tow bar clearly on the back of the Clubman, so that means you need a bike rack on the roof or you hang a carrier on the back of the car. Never been a big fan of those, to be honest. So I'm going to put it on the roof, and I know that knackers your aerodynamics. So when I got the Clubman, one of the things I actually had to try and find one that had been spec'd with roof rails, because that's not a particularly common spec option. So, you know, I'd find a really nicely spec'd one and then realise it's not got any roof rails. You're like, damn! So in here, we've basically got a set of roof rails. Now, I've never fitted them. I'm literally opening the box for the first time. I've had them pretty much since I got the car, and they should be super easy to fit, so I've been told. And by the looks of it, there's just a little clamp there that clamps onto the roof rail and a key that's going to basically allow me to lock them on. Actually, they're quite smart. I really like those. So, next thing, let's try and get them on the roof. Now, I've had a quick look at these, and they are way nicer than the ones I use on my S4, which are an aftermarket part actually. So there is a key on this cover, and that just allows you to lift the cover off, still stays attached to the roof bar, and then you've basically got a little knob there that will clamp this down onto the roof rail, which is a thing on the car. Now, ideally this is a two-man job, although I have fitted this on my S4 many times with just me. But you do need to, because you're going to be stretching across the car, need to be really careful of the paintwork on the roof, obviously. But I'm going to just give this a go. They're really light as well, so that's that one sat on there. I just undo that and lift the clamp. That's that one sat on there, and then you can just adjust them. Now, one of the things you could do if you wanted to was maybe put a little bit of a covering on the roof rail, but I've never done that and never really had any marks on the S4, and I've always been a bit worried that that might kind of compromise the fit. So interestingly, on the S4 there's a couple of little dimples to kind of show you where the best alignment place is for the roof bar. There isn't on this, so I'm going to use the midway part of the panoramic glass roof to kind of work out where they're going to go. Seems quite nice. Pop round the other side to see. Very professional alignment job there. So again, there's a little bit of movement in that bar that you can kind of move up and down. That just needs to be opened up a little bit. clamp that on. These are. And just tighten that up to a nice nip. I'm not going to tighten it fully today because I'm not going to be driving anywhere with the roof box and stuff that I'm going to put on the car. But that is really nice. Now you could fit those and leave them. My only problem with that is you get this whistle when you get at higher speed, and I honestly don't know how people drive around with roof bars fitted to the car, because that whistle just absolutely does my head in. If you're going somewhere and you've got a roof box or a bike rack on the roof, that's fine, but to drive around with roof bars on all day would just do my head in. And then once they're tightened, you just lower this little cap in place like so, and there you go. That looks really smart. Really like those. Put the other one down. Yep, I like that. Right, I'm going to put the rear one on now. One thing to note, there's some simple instructions in here. Basically these have got like a torque setting, so you just turn them until they click, but you've got to leave them so that the two wings at the top and the one wing at the bottom, otherwise this cover won't fit. And then also it recommends that these two bars are 700mm apart. Should have seen that afterwards, but I'm sure that will be absolutely fine. And then you just put that in place, and then that's all nice and locked on. So my roof bars are now fitted, and I think they look very cool. Now I've got two things that I can put on roof bars. On the S4 I can put a roof box and a bike. I am a little bit concerned that because I have a very large roof box, I am pretty sure that I'm not going to be able to put a roof box and a bike on those. But let me go and get my roof box and you'll kind of see what I mean. It's kind of big. See what I mean? It's a big baby, this. So you can buy a roof box from Mini. This is a Thule one. I'm a big fan of Thule equipment. And again, this ideally is a two-man job really, but it's not that heavy. It's just an awkward shape. So if you just balance it on the roof bar, like that. Damn! There's no way a bike rack's going on there. So it's really, I'm not going to fit that completely. Obviously you want to get it nice and square. Something like that will do. And then for that particular box, you've got these little claws that kind of go from inside through some slots underneath, and then they clamp around the actual, if I just do them the other way, sorry. They do that. Okay. And then they're super secure then, and you can lock the roof box. So if I was going away and I needed lots more extra capacity, which certainly if we're going away for Christmas, we might go away for a couple of weeks, and we've got the two dogs and some stuff, that is a brilliant addition to being able to maximise the usage of the Clubman. It just gives you so much more storage space. But I am a little bit gutted that it's not quite big enough to get a bike on there as well. In the S4 it's just that little bit wider and you can get a bike on one side. Let's see if we can get a bike on there, shall we? Because that's what we're really interested in. Not a massive, great big roof box. Right, need to get that off first though. Saves me going to the gym. Nice and easy, hand under there, and then make sure you don't drop it on the car, of course. No, this way. Alright, here we go. Again, Thule bike rack. These fit. So there's a little channel down the roof bars. I don't know if you can see on here, you've got this kind of, if I do that, that goes inside the channel. So you have one roof bar going down there, and then you've got another thing just there as well. So hopefully, should be relatively easy to fit these babies. Now first thing you need to do is be able to access this top gutter, so you just undo these and then drop them down like that, and you can kind of get access to it there. You do the same thing with this one, and then you should be able to slide the bike rack on. Okay, so one goes in there like that, and this one in there. Like that. Come in. And you can just tighten those clamps relatively easily like that. These are super tight because you don't want your bike rack falling off when you've got several thousand quid's worth of bike on there. I'll just put them on like that for now. And then you can put that back on. And then you've got, hey presto, a bike rack. Now one of the things you also need to do is just make sure, if you look from the front of the car, that when the bike's on there it's perfectly straight. You don't kind of want it at an angle for obvious reasons. But yes, hopefully we should be able to get a bike on there quite easily now. So let's do that. Right, I've actually been really looking forward to getting the bike on here. So luckily, super light bike. The fiddly bits was just hooping it underneath those two little wheel straps. That sits like that. Sits over like that. Ta-da! Couldn't do that on a GP3. I think I need to get my other bike on the other side though, don't you? That'll do. Time for a bike. You haven't seen this one before. Sadly, it is a bit dirty from my last ride, so please forgive that. But yeah, hopefully, this one's obviously a little bit heavier than the road bike. That should. Nice. I'm getting all kinds of bits of mud on the roof of my car. There you go. Definitely couldn't have done that with a GP3. My two prides and joys on the roof of Charlie Clubman. There you go. The last little bit to mention is you do get this little bit of rubber trim, and the idea behind that is it goes in the top of that channel there just to help with air resistance and noise really when you're driving along. And you can cut it, especially if you're going to keep stuff on there a long time, you can cut it to fit. So I'm not going to do that now, but you can do that later. The other thing to add, by the way, I'm not driving anywhere with these, so I haven't fitted them properly in terms of really making sure they're clamped tight. And you can also lock them onto the bars. So ultimately you can lock the roof bars onto the roof rails, the bike carriers onto the roof bars, and the bike onto the bike carrier. So it's relatively secure. Although I'm always a bit uneasy when I leave them in car parks of service stations and things, especially when they're high value bikes, but I'm dead chuffed. Now that, guys, that is the main reason why, for me, the Clubman works on all levels. Performance-wise, it's a stellar car. It's super quick, beautiful to drive, it's very well equipped, it's very comfortable, but it's so practical. Even without all of this, I can quite happily get my bike in the back. You have to put the seats down, obviously, but if you wanted to go anywhere longer, or especially if you're mountain biking, you probably wouldn't want to go mountain biking for the day and then put your bike in the car, because it's just full of crud and muck and horrible things. So you stick it on top of the bike and then on top of the car, and then it drops all over the roof of the car. And with that, guys, it's not an instructional video of how to fit a roof rails and roof bars. It's just a demonstration of why, for me, the JCW Clubman is my perfect daily. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed that. If you did so, please give me a thumbs up. Comments below are always welcome, and if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to Petrol for plenty more content to come. And I'll see you on the next film, guys, but you take care. Stay safe.